So when we surrender into feeling what's here to be felt, to being present with the self, we access a deeper sense of safety and trust than we've ever known before. Even in moments of fear or helplessness or anything like that, if you're allowing that waterfall to pour into you, if you've surrendered the idea that you're separate, that's what you're surrendering. Surrender the idea that there's no connection. Surrender the ignoring and allow for the attending to this waterfall that is pouring into you. Welcome back to the Art of Awakening podcast, where the art of living awake becomes a daily practice. I'm your host, Dr. Sue Morter, and I am always happy to be here with you and to share these concepts of living a greater life, truly. In our fast-paced world, we often expect instant results, whether it's in our healing, our growth, or our spiritual development, or our awakening processes. We want it now. But the body has its own rhythm, because the cosmos has its own rhythm. The universe, nature, all of it is unfolding in a particular rhythm and flow, and its own wisdom and its own timelines unfold when we're connected to that one. So systems like the lymphatic system in our body, the digestive system, the nervous system, they all work at their own pace. They do what they have to do their thing. You can't rush it, can't push it, and if you do, you suffer. And when you allow those systems to do what they are designed to do, we start to get in tandem with this cosmic rhythm, this universal flow. So while we might crave instant revelations or quick fixes, the body reminds us that true healing and transformation can take time. And so sometimes we are collapsing time and moving faster than we ever thought possible. And sometimes we have to learn to regulate and allow the physicality of our system to catch up. And so how do we know the difference? Well, I'd like to dive into that with you today, because there are moments where you're going to know to go, and it's going to be time to go, to do something, to take action on this thing. And you're also going to know when it's time to pause and to allow for some greater wisdom to rise. And you want to catch it. You want to capture that. You don't want to miss it. And so we're building an ability to sense and to feel and to perceive what is the right, true rhythm. Because in each and every one of us, that rhythm can change from time to time, from day to day, from a portion of the day to another portion of the day, and you'll know it when you feel it. So the lymphatic system, for example, is like the unconditional forgiver, all right? It's the street sweeper of the body, quietly cleaning up after all of the stuff that we don't take care of, no matter how long we've ignored our needs, what needs to be happening, etc. The byproduct of overshooting and overtrying and overgiving ends up in a bogged down lymphatic system. But there it is, every day, showing up. And if it's getting bogged down, it's only because of things that we're not taking care of on a conscious level, mental and emotional conscious level. And so the chemistry takes the brunt of that. The body takes the hit, because the liver and the kidney and the colon and the lymphatic system, digestive system, respiratory system, all of these systems are designed to, keep it flowing, keep it going. So we have to respect them and allow them to operate in their own sequence and their rhythm. And the best way we can contribute to that is to allow our true selves to be known by us, to be honored by us. So, for instance, if we've spent years neglecting our true voice or playing the game of victimization, the intelligence within our body is always there, ready to help us heal. But if we've been spending our time that way, the body is taxed. It suffers. And so the thing that is important here to realize is that it's always working. It's always going to catch up if you let it. And so it's important to know that that systematic, rhythmic process of support is always flowing in your favor. even if you've been suppressing your emotions and not speaking your truth and, overgiving, overtrying, overdoing, just running on fear in all of its sophisticated ways that it can show up. No matter how long we've been disconnected, the body is always ready to support. It's built for that. It is the universe packed into a body form, and the universe has all the answers. It's made of answers. It's made of the wholeness that is. And the body is just a compressed version of that. And so as this energy is pouring into the body and out into your life, out into your world, the body is the processing plant. It's the place where we allow for ourselves to perceive this universal intelligence and translate it into proper and appropriate actions that are in alignment with what's coming in. And when we suppress that, when we ignore it or deny it, or we preconceive the idea that we're not enough and it's not good and it doesn't work for us and there's nobody helping me, then that body is taking the brunt of that. All this beautiful energy is pouring in, and we're only allowing a small amount of it to pour from us and into our lives. And so we're not experiencing abundance. And at the same time, we're nailing the body. We're causing it to operate in a way it's not built to operate. So it suffers. So here's what we want to know. In an instant, we can begin to replenish and rejuvenate and heal. The moment that we stop doing that, when we stop trying to control or to fix everything or thinking that we're less than ideal and perfect and whole and complete, when we stop doing that, we discover a deeper truth that flows right through us. It's right there just waiting to show us where to go, how to operate, decisions to make, how to allow this flow in our lives to remain in place and to capture the wisdom that the universe is pouring through. And that wisdom is this. It's this simple message. You're already whole. Go for it. You're already complete. Have it your way. You're already absolutely made of divine creativity. You've got this. And if we would allow that to be true, everything would change, including the body and our ability to heal. This wisdom allows us to access the part of ourselves that is eternal and pure and untouched by fear and constantly pouring through us. I call it this divine continuum in the new book that I'm releasing, spring of 26, is Anatomy of Awakening. And the anatomy is the structure of this unified field pouring in, rising up, and projecting itself out into this world. It shows you how it works. So when we start letting that happen, the number one thing that we're going to recognize is this wisdom that's rising from inside constantly. And when we perceive it as being fed by this constant influx, like a waterfall pouring into you, always filling you, what happens is we realize that no matter where we go, that's happening. No matter what we're doing, whether we're remembering it and realizing it in a given moment, or we've completely forgotten it and are caught up in some kind of drama that's happening in our lives in a given moment, it's still always happening. It's pouring in this eternal, pure, unwavering truth. So any moment that we connect with it, it begins flushing and flourishing. And then what rises underneath that is the wisdom that we've been seeking. So when we surrender, we play a huge role in how this begins to happen. If we want to capture the wisdom of the body, it requires a surrender of sorts, a surrender into the present moment, a surrender into what is, a surrender into love, a surrender into knowing that we belong here and that we not only belong and can fit in, we're creating the darn thing. We're creating the life experience that we're having. We are vibrating at a frequency where people embrace us or they don't. We're vibrating at a frequency where opportunity shows up or it doesn't. We're vibrating at a frequency that allows us to have the gut wisdom that is the greatest wisdom on earth, that is pouring in constantly, letting it rise to a conscious level. And we're allowing that to happen or we're not. So when we surrender into feeling what's here to be felt, to being present with the self, we access a deeper sense of safety and trust than we've ever known before. Even in moments of fear or helplessness or anything like that, surrendering, which might not be the thing you would think. You might think, I got to just buck up and be strong. I got to get out there and make it happen. Maybe, but it matters who's getting up and going out there. If it's one that's connected, then I guarantee you get up and go out there and you're going to change your life experience. If you're allowing that waterfall to pour into you, if you've surrendered the idea that you're separate, that's what you're surrendering. Surrender the idea that there's no connection. Surrender the ignoring and allow for the attending to this waterfall that is pouring into you and filling you, and your cup runneth over constantly. So it allows us to unveil the hidden parts of ourselves. And those hidden parts of ourselves are true freedom, true brilliance, true wisdom, true knowing. Like grandma used to know, like, honey, don't mess with me. I've been there. I know what you're up to. Just don't even do that. That kind of wisdom allows you too to see through, all the hubbub, as I like to call it, all right? The hubbub. So keep this in mind. This awakening and healing is a process. It's a process of input, processing it, and output. Divine light pours into us, integrates within us, and radiates outward into the world. And it carves your path. And if your path isn't so pretty, if you're not digging the path that you're walking, open and allow more to pour through. And then be present with what stirs, because what's stirring is what's been clogging the system of input, process, output. The process has been clogged up because we've been shoving things in it. So, the system is just not turning and churning and able to do the things that it's built to do. So by embracing our human experience, our body, our relationships, our circumstances, we discover this life is not separate. By embracing it, by embracing the reactions that we have to the thoughts that we've thought, by embracing the fear and the angst and the anger and the hurt, and just melting it in the bonfire of your own heart, we begin to discover that we are not separate, that heaven and earth are one thing, that heaven is right here. It never was separate. It's an illusion that we have co-created and handed down and perpetuated for millennia. And it's just time to knock it off and stop doing that, because we've evolved to the point that we're not buying into any story. We're not allowing that separation to be true, because to live in a world that believes in separation and constantly pray for unity is ridiculous. The problem is in our belief in separation. The problem is that we think there's a heaven and an earth, or a heaven and a hell for that matter. And all the while, when you allow the whole thing to be taking place inside of you, everything changes. You begin to experience the unity that is true. You begin to become empowered, and the wisdom of the body rises. And you know what to do. You know what to do, and you do it when the system is cleaned up the way that we know how to do. And so we do practices like Mula Bandha and central channel breathing and grounding into chakra 10 to help us stay anchored in the body, even as we experience these higher states of consciousness. We're doing those practices all the time. And if I'm saying words right now that you're not familiar with because you've just joined us in this podcast, know that you can just go through and just kind of binge watch some of the other podcasts, and it will definitely take you into those details. You can also, pick up on it in the Energy Codes book or the new book. I'm covering these things because they are so essential to using input, process, output in the way that it's built to be used. Scientific process, that's scientific methodology, is input, process, output. And if we don't like the output, we have to evaluate the processing, the integration, or the input. Well, I guarantee you the input is divine light with you. There's not a problem with that. It's about, do we receive it? Do we allow it to be? Do we trust it? Do we honor it? Or do we make it less than it really is? That's the ego, making it wrong, making it less. And so this surrender that is required for you to really capture the body's wisdom is a real thing. And just by dropping into your core and breathing in your heart and in your belly, stretching open that solar plexus and noticing where you have, various nuances showing you that there's something different or tight right here, or a lump right here in my throat, or, a tightness in my chest. a knot in my stomach, whatever it might be. Those are languages that the soul is trying to speak. And we want the mind to learn how to translate those. And so inside the coursework that I teach, you can always drop in deeper and learn more about this. And it will completely reveal to you the language of the soul, your true native language, right? So all of these things, Mula Bandha and central channel breathing and chakra 10, all of that and so much more is your native language. It is the truth of who you are. And if you'll learn about that anatomy, you will begin to embody it in such a way that is empowering to you, and the wisdom will rise. So it requires dropping it. Drop the better idea. Drop the idea that they are wrong. Drop the idea everybody is right. Everybody thinks they're right, so let them be. Let it all be exactly what you're supposed to be experiencing right now. Now, they're not right if they're telling you what to do, but they're right in their own way, doing what they're here to do. And they are props in your movie. And your movie is doing one thing, is trying to show you how to be a better, more free you, to be even better at what you do than you already are, to be even more embracing of possibility, to be even more genius and more free and more forgiving and more capable and more innovative and creative and more healed and experiencing your wholeness even more, no matter how much of it you're already experiencing. If you'll learn to use this system the way that it is built, and I mapped it all out in the Anatomy of Awakening. It's like I laid out your invisible body, your invisible anatomy that is running your visible anatomy. And if we can animate that invisible anatomy, the visible anatomy starts healing, because we've created a temple around it, a safe space that it can relax inside of and be known and be seen. And the wisdom that it possesses, that it's made of, begins to rise, and we become conscious of it. It's not that hard. The hard part is remembering in those moments where you just want to pick up and go for the argument or being right or storm out or do the whatevers that we do, that you just surrender. Just drop it. And allow the wisdom of the moment to give you some freedom that you've never had before. Now, maybe your deal isn't that you storm out or argue this or, are convinced about your rightness. Maybe you're convinced about your wrongness. Maybe you withdraw. Maybe you don't participate. Maybe you sit back. Maybe you have even decided to describe yourself as I'm just shy, or I'm not comfortable, or I don't know, and you are hollowing out, as opposed to some of the other things I was describing. What happens in that individual's realm is their world gets small, the same, but just takes a different route to get there. But the limitation of the life experience ends up the same, because we're resisting our greatness. We're not accepting our ingenuity and our creativity. We're not allowing for this divine input to have its way in the world. We're stopping it and saying, no, you don't get to be source through me. You have to go over there to somebody else and be source in their life, because I'm not enough. I'm not good enough for the translation of this. And I just have to say, it couldn't be more false. There could not be a greater lie to live by, to think that you are unworthy of exactly what you're made of. It's like, it's impossible. You're made of it. So the mind creates these illusionary realities that we fight and we get caught up in like a web, or trying to work our way out of some plastic bag of some sort that's just keeping us encased. We can see through it, but we just can't get out. So the same answer is true. Surrender deep inside. Drop your senses into your inner core. It's called pratyahara. Withdraw your senses inside. Take deep belly breaths. Go in there and see who's there. Go in there and sit down and be with whatever is there. Because if you do that enough times, what you come upon is a magnificent, glorious, profound, divine presence on this planet. No exceptions, no matter what your starting point was. And so from there, the wisdom that rises and comes up through you changes the quality of everything you do, including being with you. The quality of being with you is greatly enhanced under these foundational practices. There's just nothing more important that we could possibly do. So I hope that this inspires you to drop inside, to surrender a little more, to catch and capture the wisdom that is on the rise through you. It's not just yours. It's cosmic wisdom. So let's not get in the way of it. Let's allow all of this to come through as the truth of who we are. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Art of Awakening podcast. I so love putting these pieces together for people, blending science and spirituality to empower you to create a life that you truly do love living. And we do this as we come together. So remember to subscribe and share this episode with people. We are one of the fastest growing podcasts. And there are millions, 4 million podcasts out there. And so we're in a very high percentage of that. And the reason that I celebrate that is that it is because it is this message's time. So if there are people that you wonder if they would respond well to this or not, give it a try. You might be surprised, because this thing that's awakening is awakening in everyone. And some people are more attuned to it, and others less attuned, but everyone is ready from the place that they sit to hear a little bit more of the truth as we know it. So blending science and spirit to support that process for everyone. And it is always a blessing to be with you. So until next time, I'm Dr. Sue Morter. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye for now.